Hey guys, I'm the Kick Boss and the inventor of Kikbo. This is the Kikbo. I'm about to show you and tell you everything you need to know after getting your first ever Kikbo. So right here, I've got 6 red feathers and a standard base setup. What I'm going to do is show you how to basically assemble your first ever Kikbo. When the base comes out of the packaging, it's at its hardest. It sort of needs to be like broken in, worked in a little bit. So don't get discouraged if it's really hard to assemble your first ever Kikbo, because every subsequent assembly is going to be easier. Okay, so basically what you need to do is insert each feather just a little bit at 90-degree angles. So you're basically going to be making like a cross shape with your Kikbo. Okay? So now I've got 2 in there. They're not all the way down at the bottom of the base. They're just in like maybe a third of the way. Okay, get the 3rd one in there. Now we're going to get the 4th feather in. The 4th feather is going to be the hardest to get in because the Kikbo base holds the feathers into the base by like kind of squeezing them together. So there's like not much space left for the 4th one, and like by extension, it's going to be the hardest one to get in. So basically, I'm just going to kind of like squeeze that guy in there just a little bit. Now that all 4 feathers are in the base, just a little bit, they're not all the way down. The reason why we do that is because the feathers are a little bit thicker at the top than they are at the bottom. So it's easier to stick 4 feathers in where they're at their narrowest than it is to like stick 4 fat feathers in, because they get thicker as you go higher. So now that 4 feathers are in just a little bit at 90 or like approximately 90-degree angles, okay, you just one by one push them down. Now, if you've done this properly, these feathers are not going to come out. You can see here that I'm just holding the base, I'm not holding the feathers, so I'm going and they're not coming out. Okay, so don't forget to save your 2 spares. This is really important. Like when you're first learning how to Kikbo, you're probably going to break 1 or 2 feathers. So hold on to those spares. Like if you introduce Kikbo to your friend's probably going to step on your Kikbo at the wrong angle and break a feather. We're pros now, so we don't break feathers, but whenever we introduce Kikbo to our friends, like, they break a feather. So hold on to your spares, it's important. So now I'm just, okay. So obviously, we did assembly the right way. So now what I'm going to show you how to do is how to make your Kikbo portable. So you can like put it in your bag, or I don't know, bring it to school, bring it to college, I don't know, bring it to Starbucks, whatever, bring it to the park. Alright, so basically it's much easier to take the feathers out of the Kikbo than it is to put the feathers in. Not saying that putting the feathers in is hard, but it's easier to take the feathers out. So just one by one, you just grab the stalks. You want to see where I'm grabbing, just pull them out, okay? And there are basically 2 ways to store your Kikbo for transport. Kind of the cooler way is actually to reassemble your Kikbo with all the feathers oriented in the same direction. So basically the way you do this is you just use that Kikbo assembly technique I showed you before. But instead of inserting the feathers at 90 degrees, see this last feather, I didn't push the feathers in just a little bit. They're all the way at the bottom, so it's hard to get this last one in. So I gotta be a little surgical about it. Alright, so it's still in. So as you can see now, it's sort of cool. It looks like a blade, but it's like compact. And this is like a cool thing that you can put in your pocket or put in your bag and bring to wherever you want to Kikbo. I think this is really cool. Where does this bag come from? So the other way to make your Kikbo portable, to store your Kikbo, is basically, this is pretty intuitive. You just take the feathers out of the base and you just like put it in your bag or whatever it is you want to use, your pocket. I don't have any pockets right now because I'm wearing short shorts, but you just like put it in a part of your bag where it's not going to get like crushed. The feathers are pretty resilient, so like pretty obvious stuff. So yeah, that's how you make your Kikbo portable. Hey guys, I'm going to show you what you don't want to do with your Kikbo. First, I'm going to show you a fast little assembly. Assembly is easier to do on a hard surface like a floor or a table, but you don't have to, obviously. This base is like a little bit softer because it's had the feathers in it for a little while. So this may or may not be easier than your Kikbo base when you first assemble it. Okay, feathers in a little bit. Push it in. Grab the base. Okay, feathers aren't coming out. Alright, so this is what you don't want to do with your Kikbo. You don't want to step on it. We've designed the Kikbo to be like as durable as possible. Like, look at this. Right, I'm stepping on it right now. It's like good. Basically what happened is the feathers just got a little bit rotated. We can fix that no problem. But like obviously if I just like, so right now I'm stepping on the base, full force. Kikbo survived once again, but you just don't want to step on your Kikbo because that'll weaken the base and nothing got broken this time. And if you step on your feathers at like the wrong angle, like this, like they're liable to break. So when you first start Kikboing, try to avoid that. And yeah, I mean you do have 2 spares, so just in case it does happen, you're going to be safe, but don't step on your base so your Kikbo lasts as long as possible. Hey guys, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the discs and your Kikbo base. So these 3 right here, this thin white disc, this thick white disc, and this shuriken shaped red disc are all made of the same material. And adding more of these to your Kikbo will make your Kikbo bouncier. So you'll kick it and it'll get more lift. Okay? These discs over here are made of the same material. Adding like 2 or more of these discs will make your Kikbo click when you kick it, which is pretty cool. So like basically when you're choosing between these different bouncy discs, they all pretty much achieve the same goal. They make your Kikbo more bouncy, or bouncier. So like when you're choosing between like a red shuriken shaped disc and a thick white disc, it's just for style, you know? Maybe you've got a red Kikbo and you want just all red shuriken discs on there. Maybe you've got a blue Kikbo and you just want blue ones, green. You see what I'm saying? So now what I'm going to do for you is show you something a little bit weird. I'm basically going to take off all the discs, just to illustrate a point. So I'm just going to drop them down here. And I'm going to assemble the Kikbo. Yep, just insert the feathers just a little bit, and then once all 4 are in there, super easy. Push them down all the way, just grab the stalks, just go. Or you don't have to push them down all the way, but you just push them down until you can't push them down anymore. Okay? So now there are no discs on this Kikbo, and you're going to see how it's a little bit weird for me. I don't usually kick like this, but it sort of really changes up the flight of your Kikbo. It's sort of hard to kick it high because it's so light, so the feathers really slowed it down. And it's just like makes your Kikbo floatier. Something cooler you can do. Kikbo is meant to be played outside. It's not meant to be played in a place with these low ceilings. Like you're meant to be Kikboing outside. like getting awesome air with your kickbow, 30 feet in the air, etc., etc. So once you get good at kickbow, you can add more discs to your bass. So you can add the hard ones for the click, the soft ones for the bounce, but more importantly, so I'm going to steal some discs from this bass right here. What you can do is you can just like really stack your bass up, like so your bass is super heavy. When your bass is heavy, it's going to counteract the slowing effect of the feathers. So what that means is your bass is gonna, or your kickbow rather, is gonna fly through the air faster, and that might be something you want to check out once you've been kickbowing for a little while with the standard kickbow bass setup. So let me make sure that all these feathers are in there. So just think back to what I just showed you. So this guy, still floating, it's really got a lot of weight on it. I've been kickbowing for a little while, and this is not a bad setup. This bass right here has a lot of bounce to it. It's pretty sick. Not used to it, but I think next time I play, I might check that out. Cool. Hey guys, you know how to assemble your kickbow, you know how to make it portable, and you know not to step on it. I'm basically going to show you how to kickbow now. It's pretty simple. Kickbow is heavier at the bottom than it is at the top. So when you drop a kickbow, the bass always like flips down and drops head first, bass first, every time. So it takes like a couple of seconds. You get the idea. Basically, when you're kickbowing, you just aim for the bass. The bass is made of like a spongy silicone material, and it's what makes it bounce. We'll get into the discs, how they change the flight of the kickbow in another video, but I just wanted to say, yeah, so that's how you do it. You kick the bottom. It's real simple, easier than a hacky sack or a soccer ball. I'm really excited for you now because you've got your first kickbow, or maybe you're just checking out this video, so you're going to start kickbowing. Go grab a friend and just do it. Awesome.